Mataji on mute. Mataji, you're not audible. Mataji, you're not audible. Mataji, you're not audible.
Hare Krishna, am I not audible?
Mataji, now you're audible. Earlier you were.
Okay, I'm just restarting my laptop. Just wait for a minute.
No problem.
Yeah. I think meanwhile I'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kada Mahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Sri Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hariharaya Nama Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha. Hariharaya Nama Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha. Sri Krishna Hari Bol, Gopala Hari Bol, Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol. Sri Krishna Hari Bol, Gopala Hari Bol, Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. So welcome you all to the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers. If you remember last week, where did we stop?
I think we stopped up to Chitta Ketu, prayers of Chitta Ketu.
Okay.
Today we have to start the prayers of Prahlada.
Okay, okay. Somebody please volunteer to start reading from 8th text onwards. 8 to 50 are the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay.
Mataji, may I?
Yes, Rachita. I think you can read till 50, no? I think 10 each, so that everybody will get a chance.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
That's perfect. Prahlada Maharaja prayed, how is it possible for me, who have been born in the family of Asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly forces could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness. Tell me what is to be said of me. I am not at all qualified. Prahlada Maharaja continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. If a Brahmana has all the 12 of the Brahminical qualification as they are stated in the book called, one second, Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, his mind, words, activity, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana in a position of false prestige cannot purify even himself. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. Therefore, although I was born in a demoniac family, I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. O my Lord, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma are sincere servants of your lordships who are situated in a transcendental position. Therefore, they are not like us, Prahlada and his father, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Your appearance in this fearsome form is your pastime for your own pleasure. Such an incarnation is always meant for protection and improvement of the universe. My Lord Deva, please therefore seize your anger now that my father, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, has been killed. Since even saintly persons take pleasure in killing of a scorpion or a snake, all the worlds have achieved great satisfaction because of the death of this demon. Now they are confident of their happiness and they will always remember your auspicious incarnation in order to be free from fear. My Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp, pinching teeth, your garland of Einsteins, your mane soaked with blood, or your high wedge-like ears, nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. Hare Krishna.
I think you can continue till 20.
20, okay. O my powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put in the association of demons as a result of my activities. Therefore, I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will the moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditioned life? O Great One, O Supreme Lord, because of combination with pleasing and displeasing circumstances and because of separation from them, one is placed in the most regrettable position within heavenly or hellish planets as if burning in a fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of miserable life, any such remedies in this world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that the only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in your service. O my Lord Narasimhadev, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated souls, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma in disciplic succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of descents. My dear Lord Deva, O Supreme, because of a of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and a mother cannot protect their child, a physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the three modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but manifestations of your energy. Indeed, since the energy and the energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So being a Daitya, when he can achieve that, and energies of Lord are reserved for the people who are a pure devotee. Okay. Some demons, of course, if you take a Hiranyakashipu, father of Prahlad Maharaj, who is in a demonic form, but in the previous life he is a Vijaya, who has been cursed again by Sanat Kumara. And so he is relieving them by killing them on that particular moment. But Lord, ultimate duty is to protect the devotees. So whether you take the demonic form or the the pure devotee form, but all these are like the material elements of the Lord. Again, in turn, these are his energies, by which, because of our previous karma, we are that particular individual is undergoing such process and all. But no matter what, when a Daitya like Prahlad Maharaj can get exalted to a devotee position, then no matter anybody who is inclined to do their service or become a pure devotee of the Lord, definitely God is going to help them. That's what he is going to say, and further prayers will elaborate more on that. Yeah, Hare Krishna. I wanted another devotee volunteer to read from 21 to 30.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you can start.
Text number 21. O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your planetary position, you have created the subtle body of living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of Karma Kanda, fruitive activity, and the 16 elements. Who can get free from the entanglement unless he takes shelter at your lotus feet? Text number 22. My Lord, my dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents, but you are the transcendental to their material qualities. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control, and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I am being crushed by the wheel of time, and therefore I surrender fully unto you. Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet. Text number 23. My dear Lord, people in general want to elevate it to the higher planetary systems for long duration of life, opulences, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Text number 24. My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the ants. As a powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do not wish to possess them. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. Text number 25. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert? Or, in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As per this body, what is its value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well. But nonetheless, they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never came to the right conclusions. Text number 26. O Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position and what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered even to the Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and or the goddess of fortune Lakshmi? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you have put it upon mine. Text number 27. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not discriminate between friends, enemies, the favorable and unfavorable, because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Nonetheless, you offer your benedictions according to the level of your one's service, exactly as a desired tree delivers fruits according to one's desire and makes no distinctions between the lower and the higher. Text number 28. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Text number 29. My Lord, O limit O limited reservoir of transcendental qualities, you
Unlimited.
have Hare Krishna Mataji.
Unlimited.
Okay, unlimited reservoir of transcendental qualities, you have killed my father, Hiranyakashipu, and saved me from this sword. He had said very angrily, if there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. I shall now
Sever their head from
sever your head from your body. Therefore, I think that both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just to prove the words of your devotee. There is no other cause. Text number 30. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation. For you existed before the creation, you exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external through actions and reactions of three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally and internally is you alone. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So already see, he has protected Prahlad Maharaj and killed Hiranyakashipu, but that is when he is a pure devotee and he has taken instruction of Narad Muni. But still, he is afraid if he come in contact with a material nature, he may fall down. Now he is just pleading Lord to make him associated only with a pure devotee so that he can continue to be a devotee and get the benefit of a good association. Yeah. Think next from text 31 to 40, one more devotee can volunteer.
Dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is certainly a type of illusion, Maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore not different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is non different from you, and annihilation is also caused by you. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. Text 32. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation, the creative energy is kept in you, who appear to sleep with half closed eyes. Actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being. For you, for you are always in a transcendental stage beyond the creation of the material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss as Karanadosai Vishnu. You thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects, although you appear to sleep. This sleeping is distinct from sleeping is ignorance. Text number 33. This cosmic manifestation, the material world is also your body. This total lump of matter is agitated by your potent energy known as Kala Shakti, and thus the three modes of material nature are manifested. You awaken from the bed of Sesa, Ananta, and from your navel a small transcendental seed is generated. It is from from this seed that the lotus flower of the gigantic universe is manifested. Exactly as a banyan tree grows from a small seed. Text number 34. From that great lotus flower, Brahma was generated. But Brahma certainly could see nothing but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find the source of the lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you. However, for when a seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. Text number 35. Lord Brahma, who is celebrated as Atmayoni, having been born without a mother, was struck with wonder. Thus, he took shelter of the lotus flower, and when he had been purified after undergoing severe asterisk of many hundred of years, he could see that the cause of all causes, the supreme personality of Godhead, was spread throughout his own body and senses, just as aroma, although very subtle, is perceived in the earth. Text number 34, 36. Lord Brahma could then see you possessing thousands and thousands of faces, feet, head, hands, thighs, noses, ears, and eyes. You were very nicely dressed, being decorated and bedecked with varieties of ornaments and weapons. Seeing you in the form of Lord Vishnu, your symptoms and form being transcendental, your legs extending from the lower planets, Lord Brahma achieved transcendental bliss. Text number 37. My dear Lord, when you appeared in Hayagriva with the head of a horse, you killed two demons known as Madhu and Kaitaba, who were full of modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your forms as transcendental, untainted by material qualities. Text number 38. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demonic principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Triyuga, or the Lord who appears in the three yugas. Text number 39. My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and just and lusty. being sometimes so called happy and sometimes so called distressed. My mind is full lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. Thus, it has become most polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you. I am therefore most fallen and poor. In such a status of life, how shall I be able to discuss your activities? Text number 40. My dear Lord, oh, infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, and the genitals is to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch to attract with soft things. The belly, although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I'm certainly embarrassed. Text number 41.
Now,
My dear Lord,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. So
Hare
here
Krishna.
Prahlad Maharaj is saying about the material life, like Lord is lying in the causal ocean and you have a Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. So all the material energy is surrounded by him and he's there, but he's totally, what do you say, just like a water drop on the leaf of a lotus, on the lotus leaf, how it remains untouched. Similarly, Lord is there in all this material life and all, but totally he is uninvolved. I can see nothing, whatever the materialistic activity is happening on an individual basis, he is not involved in all these things. And that is individual, we have to take that responsibility. So unless we engage in the service of the Lord, so how our mind can fall down? This has been explained here, like what do you say? Our eyes, ears, belly, everything has been attracted to the Maya effect, and there is the fall down. So if we are engaging ourselves in all this activity, that means we are going far, far, far away from the bhakti. Okay, and definitely we will fall down. So to avoid all these things, good devotee association is of utmost important, and which will keep us in the pure devotion service and help us to do our sadhana. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Lord, just please give me the association of a good devotee so that I don't deviate from your usual path and concentrate upon you and do my sadhana bhakti. Okay. Yes, Ritu Mataji, you can start from here, 41 to 50.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 41. My dear Lord, you're always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. We have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Text 42. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, original a spiritual master of the entire world, what is the difficulty for you? You who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service. You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities, it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore, I think that you will show your causeless mercy to persons like us who engage in your service. Text 43. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. Text 44. My dear Lord Narasimha Deva, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Monavrata. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone. Leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals, I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of a lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at a lotus feet. Text 45. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grahamedis, so-called grahastas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The uh,
Kripanas.
the Kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are Daira,
Dhira.
however, Dira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to sufferings of fools and rascals. Text 46. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are 10 prescribed methods on the path of to liberation. To maintain silent, not to speak to anyone, to observe vows, to amass all kinds of Vedic knowledge, to undergo austerities, to study the Vedas and all other Vedic literatures, to execute the duties of Varnashrama Dharma, to explain the Shastras, to stay in a solitary place, to chant mantras silently, and to be observed in trance. These different methods for liberation are generally only a professional practice and means of livelihood for those who are not conquered the senses. Because such persons are falsely proud, these procedures may not be successful. Text 47. By authorized Vedic knowledge, one can see that the forms of cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the cosmic manifestation is His energy. Both cause and effect are nothing but energies of the Lord. Therefore, O my Lord, just as a wise man, by considering cause and effect, can see how fire prevails, or those engaged in devotion service understand how you are both the cause and effect. Text 48. O Supreme Lord, you are actually the air, the earth, fire, sky, and water. You are the objects of sense perception, the life, air, the five senses, the mind, consciousness, and false ego. Indeed, you are everything, subtle and gross, the material elements and nothing expressed either by the words or by mind, or nothing but you. Text 49. Neither the three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, nor the predominating deities
Yes.
deities controlling these three modes, nor the five gross elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your lordship, for they are all subjected to birth and annihilation. Considering this, the spiritual advanced have taken to devotion service. Such men hardly bother with Vedic study. Instead, indi- Instead, they engage themselves in practical devotion service. Text 50. Therefore, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because without rendering six kinds of devotion service unto you, offering prayers, dictating all the results of activities, worshipping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet and hearing about your glories, who can achieve that which is meant for the uh, Param Paramahamsas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, like mind will be wavered if we don't concentrate upon the Lord, and these are the disastrous things which happens. So, Lord is the ultimate authority who has a control over the material things also. So, it's just pleasing the Lord that make me a dhira. That means dhira is a person who remains unwavered in any of the sensual gratification situation also. So that is possible only being in a pure devotional service and at the same time association of a pure devotees. So he's just asking him to place him in the association of a pure devotee, and he's offering the prayers. And simply for the sake of offering or doing the activities is not enough actually. Everything like what is it, purposefully and wholeheartedly, all your senses should be surrender onto the Lord and do the sadhana bhakti. That's how we can progress from Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan stage. Okay, Hare Krishna. Shall we take on the next prayer also? It is a bit lengthy. Prayers by Gajendra.
Yes, Mataji.
I think again 20 more are there. We'll finish. These are a bit lengthy ones. So Gajendra is great devotee of Lord. King Indradvimna will be born as a Gajendra because of some curse. So he will be stuck in water, when he go along with the she elephants to take bath and all, the crocodile will just catch hold of one of his limb, and he'll be in a great pain, and he will offer prayer to the Lord. And what are the prayers we will see? It starts from 8.3, 2 to 29. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read. Or otherwise, this 29 is big. Yeah, it's okay. It's a small only. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Vanita Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, from text 2 onwards.
The king of the elephants, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. Text 3. The Supreme Godhead is the supreme platform on which everything rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is the only cause of this cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender unto him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is self-sufficient in everything. Text 4. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his own energy, keeps this cosmic manifestation visible and again sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus, he is transcendental to everything. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. Text 5. In due course of time, when all the consecutive and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. Text 6. An artist on stage being covered by attractive dresses and is dancing with different movements is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and features of the supreme artist cannot be understood even by the demigods or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. Neither the demigods and sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of Lord, nor can they express in words in his actual position. May Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. Text 7. Renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. Text 8 and 9. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults to fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed. He comes in the form of a human being like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna by his original internal potency. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. Text 10. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent super soul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. Shall I continue, Mataji?
I'll ask some other devotee.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes. One more devotee can start reading from here.
Mataji, can I read from text 11?
Yes, Vaishnavi.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all-pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Narasimhadeva, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varahadeva, to Lord Dattatreya, who preached impersonalism, to Lord Buddha, and to all the other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances into you, who are the super soul, the superintendent of everything, and the witness of all that utters. You are the supreme person, the origin of material nature and the total material energy. You are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the supreme complete. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, you are the observer of the objective of the senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problem of doubts. The material world is just like a shadow resembling you. Indeed, one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your existence. My lord, you are the toss of all tosses, but you yourself have no toss. Therefore, you are the wonderful toss of everything. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the shelter of Vedic knowledge contained in the Shastras, like the Pancharatras and Vedanta Sutra, which are your representations, who are the source of Parampara system. Because it is you who tender liberation, you are the only shelter for all transcendentalists. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My lord, as the fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the relative principles directed in the Vedic literatures. Because such advanced souls are transcendental, you personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Since an animal such as me has surrendered unto you, who are supremely liberated, certainly you will release me from this dangerous position. Indeed, being extremely merciful, you incessantly try to deliver me. By a partial feature as Paramatma, you are situated in the hearts of all embodied beings. You are celebrated as direct transcendental knowledge, and you are unlimited. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord, those who are completely freed from material contamination always meditate upon you within the doors of their hearts. It is extremely difficult to attain for those like me who are too attached to mental contraction, whom relatives, friends, money, servants, and assistants. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uncontaminated by the modes of nature. You are the reservoir of all enlightenment, the Supreme Controller. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and revelation obtain from him what they desire. What then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. And allow devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord, worship Him in full surrender, and always hear and chant about His activities, which are most wonderful and auspicious. Thus they always merge in an ocean of transcendental bliss. Such devotees never ask the Lord for any benediction. I, however, am in danger. Thus I pray to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally existing, who is invisible, who is the Lord of all great personalities such as Brahma, and who is available only by transcendental Bhakti Yoga. Being extremely subtle, he is beyond the reach of my senses and transcendental to all external realization. He is unlimited. He is the original source, and he is completely full in everything. I offer my obeisance unto him. The Supreme
Hare Krishna.
Personality.
Hare Krishna. So when he can deliver an animal, that is the Gajendra, who is there in a form of a elephant. So think of a normal individual who surrender unto the Lord. So it's again here also the devotee is saying the same thing, that we should always try to stay away from the material world. That is again the inferior energy of the Lord, and try to get elevated to the superior energy of the Lord. Do the sadhana bhakti and maintain all four regulative principles and do everything so that we are in the path of a self-realization. Okay, Hare Krishna. A short prayers by Satyavrata. I think we'll read this and we'll conclude for today. Yes, Hare Krishna, Rachita, you can read. Prayers by Satyavrata.
Okay, for which purpose should I read?
I'll tell you. Just I didn't open the before. Okay. 46 to 53.
46 to 55, no?
53.
Okay. Following the okay.
The king said, by the grace of the Lord.
Okay, the king said, by the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial and who because of this ignorance are involved in a material conditional life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as a supreme spiritual master. In hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish conditioned souls performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart. One who wants to be free of material entanglement should take to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give up the contamination of ignorance involving pious and impious activities. Thus, one regains his original identity just as a block of gold or silver sheds all dirt and become purified with which when treated with fire. May that inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead become our spiritual master, for he is the original spiritual master of all other spiritual masters. Neither all the demigods nor the so-called gurus nor all other people either independently or together can offer mercy that equals even 1/10,000 of yours. Before I wish to take shelter of your lotus feet. As a blind man being unable to see and accepts another blind man as his leader, people who do not know the goal of life accept anyone as a guru who is a rascal and a fool. But we are interested in self-realization. Therefore, we accept you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a spiritual master, for you are able to see in all directions and are omniscient like the sun. A materialistic so-called guru instructs his materialistic disciples about economic development and sense gratification. Because of such instructions, the foolish disciples continue in the materialistic existence of ignorance, but your lordship gives knowledge that is eternal, and the intelligent person receiving such knowledge is quickly situated in his original constitutional position. My Lord, you are the supreme well-wishing friend of everyone, the dearmost friend, the controller, the super soul, the supreme instructor, and the giver of supreme knowledge, and the fulfillment of all desires. But although you are within the heart, the foolish, because of lusty desires in the heart, cannot understand you. O Supreme Lord, for self-realization I surrender unto you. You are worshipped by the demigods as the supreme controller of everything. By your instruction exposing life purpose, kindly cut the knot from the core of my heart and let me know the destination of my life.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Satyavrata, who is a king, he's very pious king, and he was ruling his kingdom with all good qualities and all. And one day he'll when he's offering the prayers, a small fish will be caught in his hand in the waters, and he'll go that and keep that fish in a small bowl. And the next day it will grow to the size of the bowl, and it will transfer to the bigger body, then it will get even more bigger. Then he will leave that into a small lake, and it will fill up the lake. Then he'll take that fish to a river, then it will fill up the river. Then he will take that to a bigger ocean, and it is growing endlessly. Then he understands it is none other than the Lord Krishna. Okay, so Narayana form, and I have just mistaken to realize him. Now that I have realized that, he offered the obeisances onto him. And before that, Lord appears in the Matsya Avatara to save the Vedas. So here he will he'll come again as a fish to give him a boon to King Satyavrata that he'll be born as a Vaivasvana Manu in his next life. So when this is the conversation, so when he will get that fish and he's trying to accommodate that in different bodies, then he will realize that he's dealing with the Lord. So he will just only he can cut our ignorance through his knowledge. Nobody else can do it, and he could experience that. So he is offering the prayers onto the Lord. So is it okay for today, or shall we do with one more prayers? But it is lengthy, I think. We'll 26 to 41, 15. I think we'll end for today. Isn't it? Hare Krishna. What do you say?
Your wish, Mata.
Not my wish. I am there. But chapter 10, Samam Bonam. Demigods. Prayers by demigods, 10.2, 20. Because if we do so, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In two classes, we can finish up the prayers if we are completing this, so that there is no pending. So that's what. What do you say?
Yes, too, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, from 26 to 41. Okay. When Lord is there in the womb of Devaki, these are the prayers which are offered by the demigods. And oh God, you're so kind that you're coming as human form in a spiritual body to help us from these demonic people who are there and all. So these are the prayers. Hare Krishna. It starts from 26 to 41. Yes.
The demigods, text number 26. The demigods prayed, "O Lord, you never deviate from your which is always perfect, because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. Being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and annihilation. You are the supreme truth. Indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor, which is therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. You are the active principle, the real truth in all the ingredients of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami, the inner force. You are equal to everyone, and your instructions apply for everyone for all time. You are the beginning of all truth. Therefore, offering our obeisance, obeisances, we surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection. Text number 27. The body, the total body, and the individual body are of the same composition, may figuratively be called the original tree. From this tree, which fully depends on the ground of material nature, come two kinds of fruit: the enjoyment of happiness and the suffering of distress. The cause of the tree forming its three roots in association with the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. The fruits of bodily happiness have four tastes: religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, which are experienced through five senses for acquiring knowledge in the midst of six circumstances: lamentation, illusion, old age, death, hunger, and thirst. The seven layers of bark covering the tree are skin. Sorry, ma'am, I missed it when you are moving, actually. Yeah, from this tree.
Which fully depends on the ground of material nature. You can see the cursor.
Yeah, sure. Come two kinds of fruit: the enjoy and happiness, and yeah, I did actually. Yeah, it's okay. From this tree, which fully depends on the ground of material nature, come two kinds of fruit: the enjoyment of happiness and the suffering of distress. The cause of the tree forming its three roots in association with the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. The fruits of bodily happiness have four tastes: religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification and liberation, which are experienced through five senses for acquiring knowledge in the midst of six circumstances: lamentation, illusion, old age, death, hunger, and thirst. The seven layers of bark covering the tree are skin, blood, muscle, fat, bone, marrow, and semen. And the eight branches of the tree are the five gross and three subtle elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. The tree of the body has nine hollows: the eyes, the ears, the nostrils, the mouth, the rectum, and the genitals, and 10 leaves, the 10 airs passing through the body. In this tree of the body, there are two birds. One is individual soul, and the other is the super soul. Text number 28. The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you. Oh Lord, you are also the maintainer of this material world. And after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see your behind this manifestation, but theirs is not the vision of learned devotees. Text number 29. Oh Lord, you are always in full knowledge, and to bring all good fortune to all living entities. You appear in different incarnations, all of them transcendental to the material creation. When you appear in these incarnations, you are pleasing to pious and religious devotees. But for non devotees, you are the annihilator. Next map. Maintenance over. Text number 30. O lotus eyed Lord, by concentrating on one's meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of knee signs, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajanas, great saints, sages, and devotees. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of knee signs as easily as one steps over the hoof print of a calf. Text number 31. O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desired tree, Vanchakalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of knee signs, they leave behind on earth the method by which they
cross.
which they cross, and because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. Text number 32. Someone may say that aside from devotees who always seek shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, there are those who are not devotees but who have accepted different processes for attaining salvation. What happens to them? In answer to this question, Lord Brahma and other demigods said, O lotus eyed Lord, although non devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet. Text number 33. O Madhava, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of Goddess of fortune, if devotees completely in love with you sometimes fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like non-devotees, for you still protect them. Thus, they fearlessly traverse the heads of their opponents and continue to progress in devotional service. Text number 34. O Lord, during the time of maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with transcendental bodies, could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Text number 36. Oh Lord, your transcendental name and form are not ascertained, ascertained by those who merely speculate on the path of imagination. Your name, form, and attributes can be ascertained only through devotional service. Text number 37. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed in your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always one or always on the transcendental platform. And thus they can understand the supreme personality of God. Text number 38. Oh Lord, we are fortunate because the heavy burden of the demons upon this earth is immediately removed by your appearance. Indeed, we are certainly fortunate, for we shall be able to see upon this earth and in the heavenly planets the marks of lotus, conch shell, club, and disc that adorn your lotus feet. Text number 39. O Supreme God, you are not an ordinary living entity appearing in this material world as result of fruitive activities. Therefore, your appearance or birth in this world has no other cause than your pleasure potency. Similarly, the living entities who are part of you have no cause of miseries like birth, death, and old age, except when these living entities are conducted by your external energy. Text number 40. O Supreme Controller, your Lordship previously accepted incarnations as a fish, a horse, a tortoise, Narasimhadeva, a boar, a swan, Lord Ramachandra, Parashurama, and among the demigods, Vamanadeva, to protect the entire world by your mercy. Now, please protect us again by your mercy by diminishing the disturbances in this world. O Krishna, best of the Yadavas, Yadus, sorry, we respectfully offer our obeisances unto you. Text number 41. O Mother Devaki, by your good fortune and ours, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, with all His plenary oceans, such as Baladeva, is now within your womb. Therefore, you need not fear Kamsa, who has decided to be killed by the Lord. Your eternal son, Krishna, will be the protector of the entire Yadu dynasty. Text number 42. After this, offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, that transcends all the demigods, with Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva before them, return to their homes in heavenly planets. Hare Krishna.
When the Lord is there in the womb of Devaki, and Balarama is the seventh incarnation of the Lord, and he'll get exchanged in the womb of Rohini Mataji. So, so many planetary situations change, and a happy moment will be there, and everything, the sky, the birds, the nature, and especially the demigods, they know that when Lord is coming in the Narayana form, that is having a club functional Shankar Chakra Gada Hasta. So they'll be very, very happy to see the four-handed Narayana form of the Lord. And whenever there is a rise in the religion, there is a loss of dharma, he will come in different incarnations, like Matsya Kurma, Avtara, etc. and all. And he saved Mother Earth from the various atrocities, and he killed many demons. Of course, the demonic people are also the inferior energy of the Lord, who have been cursed by the Lord over a period of a time for his some sort of what do you say? It's a prarabdha karma. So because of that, they'll be born as demons. Of course, they being the pure devotee in their previous life, again they'll be killed in the hand of the Lord. Okay, but whatever said and done, all the demigods are very, very happy at this present moment that Lord is appearing on this earth as Lord Krishna. So they are just offering the prayers to the upcoming event of Janmashtami. So happy Janmashtami to all of you. So on this eve, we have read this chapter where the demigods are welcoming the Lord Krishna. So by finishing this prayer, we are also welcoming Lord Krishna today. And may Lord's mercy upon all of us and help us to progress further in the bhakti, stay away from all the materialistic life, and give us the power to progress further in the sadhana bhakti and become his pure devotees. Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything to share or any doubts?
It's good, ma'am. Like Hare Krishna, ma'am. Today Janmashtami, and we have read this. I felt very happy to be the part of this.
Yes. We are also welcoming. Yeah.
Thank you so much to giving me a chance to read or attend this meeting. Actually, thank you so much for everyone who make this happen.
Thank you for reading. Yeah. Yes, happy Janmashtami to all of you. Just stay tuned with the YouTube lives and the programs which are scheduled from tomorrow onwards, and try to attend the Maharti and the Abhisheka. The programs are continuous. Okay, and if possible, as per your capacity, try to fast tomorrow. Second, you can do the Ekadashi fasting and have the Mahaprasada in the evening. You can fast for the whole day and try to do more rounds, more number of chanting and all, and try to visit temple if there are any nearby temple is there, and try to be fruitful tomorrow. Okay, so try to chant more number of rounds if possible and take the blessings of Sri Radha Govind. And thank you, Namanishdas Prabhuji, for giving this wonderful opportunity to remember Lord Krishna through the prayers of just before Janmashtami festival. And thank you to all our Parampara Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada and all. Okay. Yeah. Once again, happy Janmashtami. So we'll end the session for today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Yeah, thank you, participants, for your active participation. See you all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.